Hey guys, this is Anime Ballsy here, and today we are going to be doing the 5th part of What If Goku Was Reborn with all of his memories. Please like the video if you haven't already and subscribe, it's totally free and you can unsubscribe whenever you want. There's nothing much else I like to say in the intro, so without further ado let's get into the video.
Slick talker since a jit. Winter time, all the time, ooh, yeah. Look at the way that I move, swag. Disrespectful and I'm rude, okay. I had cocaine in the school.
Now, a few good years pass and the Saiyans are still training their hardest. Goku, Vegeta, Raditz and Nappa can all utilize the power of Super Saiyan 3. Goku has near mastery over the form now since he has also learned to use it in his past life. Goku has a lot of mastery over these techniques, but it's just his body that needs to catch up. So as soon as his body was strong enough to handle Super Saiyan 3, he had the same mastery over the form that he did in his past life. By this time now, Goku has something in mind. He wants to teach the Saiyans God Ki. He meditates over some water trying to calm himself, letting the soothing noise of the flowing water relax his mind. He begins to feel it and he suddenly envelops in the power of God Ki. It takes him a little longer than expected since his body has had literally no exposure to the power. However, he has the technical ability to use it and he ends up using Super Saiyan God for the first time ever in this life. He can feel that he is significantly stronger now and reaches further. He attempts to harness the power of Super Saiyan using Super Saiyan God, and because he could in his past life he achieves it. The power of Super Saiyan Blue invigorates his body, but he doesn't want to add Kaioken onto it just yet. He knows the damage it can cause and he is significantly weaker than he was when facing Hit in the Tournament of Destroyers. If he tried to use that power now, even after mastering Kaioken on its own, he'd be toast. Realizing now that his body might just be strong enough, he ventures further for Ultra Instinct. Calming his mind, he roars and his roar sounds like that of a demon. The water beneath him flies out and almost forms tsunami-like waves from the pressure he exudes. His eyes turn silver and he begins using the super powerful form of UI Omen. The others can't even sense what's happening because he's using God Ki, and he then returns to his base form once he is done. He is still less than 1% of his strength when he was fighting Moro, but he is making sound progress. He is confident that with UI Omen he could take down even the form of himself using Super Saiyan Blue against Frieza when he was revived. Frieza is dead already and his empire is gone, and Goku does anticipate that he will make a return in the coming years. For now though, he has to worry about Babidi and him trying to activate Buu. He flies off to his ship alone this time and doesn't bother with entering the World Tournament just yet. As he arrives, he is met by the likes of Yamu and Spopovich, who act as the first line of defense for Babidi's spaceship. Goku sees them and deems them as nothing to worry about. He can sense their key signatures and knows that they've been possessed. He doesn't want to kill them for something that was likely done against their will, that is having their mind warped in this way, so he knocks them both out with extremely light neck chops. After achieving God Ki, Goku's body absorbed the form's power to invigorate itself further. This means that he has received a significant boost to his strength. He is then put up against the spaceship's warriors at the different levels. Babidi seeks to acquire enough energy to activate and release Majin Buu and thinks this warrior just might do the trick. The first warrior to face Goku is Pui Pui. This warrior stands no chance against him, who just takes him out with a single blast. For the next warrior that he finds, Yakan, all that he needs is regular Super Saiyan to make him absorb too much light. He explodes and the final fighter for him to take down is Dabura. The two warriors stare each other down and Dabura seems confident. He can't sense Ki, but there aren't many people in the world who can take on the mighty Demon King. This is where you die, Saiyan, Dabura declares, shooting out spit at him. Goku knows what this spit of his will do, and so he uses instant transmission to evade his attack entirely. Dabura seems quite annoyed about him easily evading his trump card, however he just flies right at Goku and shouts in the process. He throws slow, sluggish punches that Goku evades with ease. The Saiyan lands a punch to his gut before swiveling to kick him in his head. This launches Dabura away and downward, making him quite annoyed as well. He wipes the blood coming from his face and feels a stinging pain in the areas where he was hit. This feeling of weakness infuriates him and he flies right back in to try and hit Goku again. However, when he tries to throw a punch, Goku dodges it then lands one of his own. Dabura starts eating seriously powerful punches and eventually can't keep up anymore. Even while Goku is still in his base form, his attacks are totally crippling him. Goku then releases a one-hand energy wave that hits Dabura right on. The Demon King is killed in the blast, and as this happens, Babidi has gained enough energy to activate his precious sealed ball. Goku is now transported away from this area and faces it directly. Babidi is also there, elated. I want to thank you so much for helping me release the strongest being in the entire universe. With Majin Buu, not even you will stand a chance against him, Babidi claims, as the ball becomes brown. Goku knows exactly what is inside that odd-looking ball and knows that taking Buu out in one go will require a lot of force. Upon trying to do so though, he thinks about the times that Buu spent with Mr. Satan and how he ended up being a good person. He also even thinks about how he played a major role in the fight against Moro. However, he knows that he could just be revived with the Dragon Balls after he defeats him here. He decides that that will be what he does and he enters his Super Saiyan Blue form. Just his transformation destroys the surrounding ground and he begins emitting intense pressure. Goku charges up his signature attack, then launches the Kamehameha wave right at this ball. The blast is so large and fast that even Babidi can't evade it, and both Buu and Babidi are vaporized in it. There is absolutely nothing left of Buu and a massive trail is left where the blast tore through the ground. Steam emits off Goku's hands and he just sighs of relief. There we go, Goku states. Now Goku has basically sorted the entire Buu saga before even the World Tournament has started. The Kais are in literal disbelief at what has played out. Somehow this random Saiyan has located Babidi's spaceship with ease, defeated every single fighter that came up against him with that same ease, and has finally destroyed Majin Buu. They decide to leave, seeing no need to show themselves to mortals any longer. It is not their job to meddle with mortals' lives when the situation is no longer grave. However, they are more than curious to watch this Saiyan more closely. Raditz over these years has taken a more chillaxed approach to life in recent years. He has still been training with his fellow Saiyans and that is something that he will never stop doing. He has had a child with 18 who I shall just call Raditz Jr. for simplicity. He looks a lot like Raditz and is just a smaller version of him basically. What is different about Raditz Jr. is his attitude. He acts more like a stubborn, hard-headed Saiyan. He acts a lot more like Trunks and he's like how I'd imagine a Saiyan to be in childhood. Vegeta also has a child with Bulma Trunks as usual. The oldest out of Goten, Trunks and Raditz Jr. is instead Raditz Jr. Raditz Jr. is the strongest and is the hardest trainer out of his friends and so just increases the gap between him and them every single day. The youngest is still Goten but only by literally a few days instead of a whole year. Raditz Jr. is the first to access Super Saiyan and even though he can be annoying sometimes, Raditz feels extremely proud to have such a strong warrior to call his son. For the World Tournament in the youth division, Raditz Jr. ends up going against his cousin Goten in the final. I've been training much harder now, Junior. I'll show you just how strong I am now, Goten claims. Alright then, I'll see about that, he replies. The two warriors stand off before the battle then begins. Goten seems right ahead and throws a quick jab that Raditz is quite impressed with. He still evades the incoming attack with ease and swipes at Goten's legs. This gives him the perfect chance to strike, but Goten manages to block before he is hit with an attack. A punch lands on his forearms and sends him sliding across the gridded arena floor. He begins to roll but then springs back up to his feet to then launch a wave of ki blasts at his opponent. Raditz Jr. begins using the after image effect for flair, making these ki blasts seem like they're hitting him when they're not. After they all go flying out of the arena, Raditz Jr. shoots himself forward and moves much faster than Goten just did. In this battle, Goten must fight rather defensively and is struggling to handle his cousin. He is younger and doesn't possess the same drive and discipline that he does. He continuously gets beat on by his cousin, unable to do anything. How about we take this up a notch, make things more interesting, Raditz Jr. asks, entering his own Super Saiyan form. His long black hair becomes blonde and his eyes switch to the signature blue colour of Super Saiyan. Goten nods in reaction and enters his own Super Saiyan form. The spectacle captivates the surrounding spectators and brings quite a lot of attention onto the two boys. I thought I told them not to show off these forms here, Goku says, a little annoyed. Why fret so much? Let them enjoy their battle, Raditz replies. Goten shouts and flies right at Raditz Jr. with everything he has. Even if he loses, he is not going down without a fight. He throws a flurry of punches and one manages to hit his target right in the face. Raditz Jr. falls back before receiving a kick to his stomach right after. This powerful kick sends him sliding back slightly and he begins smiling upon taking these attacks. I commend you for that, those hits hurt, he says, before lifting his face. His aura becomes wild and explosive and his face looks maniacal. It's like an entirely different beast has been activated in his mind. He flies right at Goten and kicks him off the ring entirely, being deemed the winner. With no Yamu or Spopovich, these fighters can have the tournament that they wish to have. They've all been training in preparation and the finalists are dominated by the same fighters. In one of the quarterfinals, Piccolo is up against Nappa. Nappa is the weakest Saiyan, but Piccolo has been training hard in these past 7 years. He never stops his training as we know, but has been really focusing on finding cool ways to surpass these Saiyans. He spent a lot more time in this timeline training with them and just training in general. Being overpowered by them and watching them progress more than he does annoys him a lot more and he doesn't want to just let them surpass him while he does nothing. Piccolo Piccolo powers up and Nappa is astounded by the power he showcases. He seems stronger than usual and he then flies right at his opponent. Nappa takes his first punch and feels quite an impact behind it before evading another. Piccolo continues to intensely attack this Saiyan and his fighting technique is great, however Nappa can manage him quite easily. Piccolo throws a punch aimed for the Saiyan's head but he slips past it then drives his fist into his gut. This almost cripples Piccolo but he grits his teeth and remains standing. He possesses an unshakable will and doesn't want to lose here. Special beam grenade, he shouts, leaping into the air. A golden ball of energy shoots out from his two fingers, being propelled by a stream of ki with another circular energy beam spinning around it. A large explosion is given off and as the smoke fades, Nappa is revealed with an actual bruise on his arm. The other Saiyans are in disbelief from seeing this move, but then Piccolo places his hands in the form of a triangle. Since when did you learn to use an attack like that? Nappa asks, startled. Don't worry, that's not even the strongest in my arsenal. I learned this attack from a friend and this might just be the strongest attack that I've ever seen, Piccolo says as his hands light up. I decided to work on it and made an upgrade. Super Tri-Beam, Piccolo roars, releasing a powerful energy wave right at Nappa. The Saiyan is forced back and feels quite a lot of pain from taking this blast head on. This is the Super Neo Tri-Beam. Piccolo shouts and then launches another one of these attacks, pushing Nappa back further. Doing this, he begins releasing a barrage of these blasts and doesn't seem to be stopping anytime soon. After about 10 blasts, he coughs out blood but sees Nappa is just inches from reaching the end of the ring. He now has bleeding arms and Piccolo continues firing them with the last of his energy. Nappa gets knocked off balance with one of these blasts and the final one knocks him off the ring before he even has the chance to transform. The Saiyan is quite honestly stunned and Piccolo coughs out even more blood before dropping to his knees. All that he has is a smile on his face before he falls onto his left arm after losing consciousness. He is given a sensu bean to heal himself and is delighted by the way he performed. He is happy to have finally defeated a Saiyan even if they were still in his base form and thanks Tien for his contributions. After seeing him use that attack on Semi-Perfect Cell, he just couldn't help himself but ask him to teach it to him. In the end, the Saiyans fight valiantly in the semi-finals and the final, but they all know who the strongest fighter is. Raditz is given the shot to try and take down his brother in the final, but he just isn't strong enough to do so. Goku, after absorbing God Ki as well, has become so much stronger that he literally has to hold back not to alarm them. These Saiyans have been training together quite a lot for years and have a general idea around how strong they all are. If Goku was to show himself as being insanely strong, it would put them all off. With this, the end of Dragon Ball Z has now arrived. In this time between Z and Super, a few things happen. Firstly, Goten, Trunks and Raditz Jr. enter the hyperbolic time chamber after seeing their fathers fight so well. They want to become strong like them one day and intensely train against each other while inside. Bulma can supply them with extra supplies so that more than 2 people can be inside the chamber at once and they want to learn more. Upon seeing how well Piccolo fought against Nappa, they want to go under his wing. Piccolo feels honoured to train up some young Saiyans and is willing to show them some of his attacks if he deems them worthy. For this, they enter the hyperbolic time chamber again and face him. Upon doing so, they immediately realise how strong he is. Piccolo has continuously gotten stronger and might not have an extremely strong base form, but his attacks are enough to injure and defeat those that are tens if not hundreds of times stronger than himself. He also fights with a certain technical skill that the Saiyan children could only dream of having. With a few extra years training outside the chamber, the kids have grown a lot in quite a short amount of time. Raditz can now utilise the power of Super Saiyan 3 that he hates quite a lot from how long it makes his hair be. The other two, Goten and Trunks, are now on Super Saiyan 2, reaching for the next form that Raditz Jr. currently has. With this form that he has, that is 4 times above Super Saiyan 2, Raditz Jr. has settled himself as the strongest juvenile Saiyan on Earth. Goten and Trunks in canon are weaker than, but not much weaker than the likes of Goku and Vegeta. I mean, most of the time Gotenks is said to be above Goku in terms of just comparing base forms. With this training, Raditz Jr. only further bridges the gap between him and the older Saiyans, but he isn't there just yet. Across the universe, the God of Destruction has awoken and desires to face the Super Saiyan God he saw in his dreams. Upon waking up, the Oracle Fish gives the two an odd message. There is a Saiyan with power that rivals the gods, a mortal that has harnessed the power of Ultra Instinct to its full extent. Beerus just chuckles upon hearing this. A Saiyan, a mortal with Ultra Instinct. These Saiyans were the same Saiyans that were just strong enough to destroy planets, the race that he asked Frieza to destroy decades ago. He can't even use Ultra Instinct fully, so it must be a joke. Whis is more wise and takes it more seriously and decides to take Beerus to where some Saiyans could remain in his universe, Earth. A Saiyan with Ultra Instinct. Either this Oracle Fish is talking complete garbage, or I might be in for one of the most interesting fights of my entire life. So that will conclude the 5th part of What If Goku Was Reborn with all of his memories. Please tell me something you liked about this video or something that I should improve on for the next one. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.